Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bible, history, pop culture fans all over the world. My name is Robert Huddleston, and we're going to discuss The Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Charlie was a Christian, probably sitting next to the king, peace be upon. But I do believe he was tricked into writing a very Luciferian song, and there's a ton of songs I could pick apart as more obviously Luciferian. But that's why I'm choosing this one. It's not overtly Luciferian. In fact, a lot of people listen to it and think it's about a good old boy whipping the devil's butt. So the song's not only wrong, but Charlie didn't even tell you the whole story. Like, what happened to Johnny after that? Like, what happened to the rest of his life? And maybe he did write a sequel. Maybe he did. Don't quote me to that. But it wasn't true. The sequel was written 4 years before that by a completely different band because time isn't linear, but truth is timeless. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind. He was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. Now, I don't know who the devil would be in a pinch to owe money or souls to. Like, who told Lucifer, be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow or else? Like, I know there are other demons, other Satans, other devils, other creatures out there. They're probably not always in simpatico. But he's pretty near the top of the totem pole. I don't see anybody putting the squeeze on the devil. But that's because he's smarter than you. Sun Tzu would show up to a battle he already knew he won. With the vast majority of his troops hidden, he already poisoned your well, he already knows everything about your camp, and he would show up late and beleaguered and looking to sue for peace. He was in a bind, way behind, willing to make a deal. The devil isn't late. Nobody kept him longer than he wanted to be here. He didn't owe anybody anything, and he was not willing to sue for peace. He already won that battle. He was in a bind, he was way behind, he was willing to make a deal. So as soon as you made a deal with the devil, you lost. You should have said, "No, Lucifer, I rebuke you in the name of the Lord." So the second as soon as you invite the vampire in, you lost. Do not invite a vampire into your house. Do not negotiate with the devil. You lost. Well, I'm sure everybody knows how the song goes. This rural peasant from Georgia gets into a fiddle off with the universe's first and greatest musician. Lucifer's only job he ever held was being a choir director. And he has a whole choir of demons. And Johnny beats him. And he says, "Oh, you whipped me, boy. Here's a golden fiddle." And then, fire on the mountain run, boy. He has a good time. I actually think there was a sequel, Devil Went Back to Georgia. But that's not the accurate sequel. What did happen to Johnny? What happens to someone when you win the fiddle of gold? I don't know if you ever saw Gregory Peck's The Gunfighter. He played Jimmy Ringo. He was a reluctant gunfighter, just had fast hands. Some kid snakes him, gets the better of him. And as people come around and there's Johnny holding his gut dying, they're like, "This kid snaked you." And he's like, "No, I drew first. He was faster than me." He didn't give that kid a gift. He cursed him. Everywhere he went, that's the kid that shot Johnny Ringo. Kid that shot Jimmy Ringo. I bet I'm faster than him. What do you think happened when Johnny went back to his rural village with a fiddle made of gold, full of farmers and lumberjacks and, coal miners, hard men? He didn't get to go back and, play the local fair ever again. Hey, there's that lazy Johnny who never worked a day in his life and then made some unholy pact with Lucifer, and now he's the richest guy for 3 counties. Let's go split his head open. So there's no more going back to your village. What happens when you win the lottery? When someone becomes acutely rich, you don't go back to your hood. You don't go back to the neighborhood. You don't go back round the way. You don't go back to your small town. You leave. Because now your neighbors hate you. Johnny couldn't go back home. Johnny didn't have friends or family anymore. That's where the pre-sequel song comes in. Because somebody else knew the rest of this story. Johnny told Mama, "I'm going away. Gonna make it to the big time. Gonna be a star someday. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Don't you know? Don't you know? That's Johnny. That Johnny had to leave. He couldn't stay in Georgia anymore. After beating the greatest musician in all the universe, he outgrew Bumbledong, Georgia, and he had to go out west. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Well, Johnny died one night, died in his bed. Bottle of whiskey, sleeping pills beside his head. That's what a golden fiddle gets you. The devil's golden fiddle gets you thrown out of your community and dead, alone, in a hotel somewhere, with booze or pills or heroin. Because you lose as soon as you make a deal with the devil. And we used to know this. There used to be a play that was put on everywhere called Faust, or the Faustian Deal. Faust played a devil, a Pan, a Satan, a demon creature that you made a deal with. But ultimately, and they've spun it a million times, it was always too good to be true. You got exactly what you wanted, but be careful what you wish for. Midas, King Midas, the Midas touch was a Faustian deal. He made it with some pagan god that everything he touched would turn to gold. Well, when his food turned to gold, and his water turned to gold, and his beloved daughter turned to gold, his gift became a curse. Johnny's golden fiddle wasn't a gift. It was a curse. He had to leave Georgia, and that same Johnny from The Devil Went Down to Georgia died in L.A., alone in a bed, with a bottle of whiskey and sleeping pills. Because that's what happens when you compete with the devil. You win a prize, but it's not a gift. It's a curse. Do I blame old Charlie? Probably not. But kind of had to break that spell on everyone. Don't make deals with the devil. He's smarter than you. He's mechanically better than you at things. The only thing you can do is rebuke him in the name of the Lord. And as soon as you entertain the idea of being Johnny from The Devil Went Down to Georgia with this bump fiddle, you wind up Johnny dead in a hotel room. Because the Midas touch is a curse. And you never beat the devil. But tell me what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe, share. God bless.